Welcome to the Unsolved, the channel where we bring you stories that turn into mysteries. So today is one of those solved or unsolved. At the end, I want you to tell me in the comments if you feel like this has been solved or if you feel like it's still kind of open, unsolved because of all the mystery around it. So, the story that I'm going to talk about today is full of mystery. I think that it also has like a love at first sight romance thing going on, intense competition, a lot of speculation, and some just controversy as well. So today's story is going to, I think some of you have probably already heard about it or may have even watched a movie or documentary about it. But today I'm going to bring you my opinion and we'll see. So let's get started. Okay, so the story I'm going to talk about is Audrey Mestre. She's French, so her last name is spelled Mestre. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but you can Google her. And so Audrey was very well known for her records that she broke. She was considered a celebrity in her own rights in the freedive world. She broke a record. Her first record she broke was in 1999 for the world's deepest free dive, where she took a dive on one single breath. She went down 125 meters, and then followed that in 2000, where she broke her own record and went down 130 meters. So, that was very, very awesome, like in the free dive world. And that's kind of what catapulted her name, and she just was very well known. And unfortunately her passion for free diving ultimately was her demise. So I'll jump right into the story. So Audrey was a student in Mexico, and she was originally from France. She decided to study marine biology in Mexico, and she was doing her thesis on a world champion freediver, and his name was or is, he's still alive, he was known as Pippin, but his name was actually Francisco Rodriguez Ferreras. And he did films, he wrote, he was an author, he broke numerous world records of free diving. So he was a celebrity as well in that circle, and very well known. So much so, of course, she was doing her thesis on him, and she was kind of a fan, and when she was in Mexico, she had an opportunity to meet him. He was doing some type of freediving meetup or freediving sessions or something like that. So she took the opportunity to go and meet her, the subject of her thesis, the person that she kind of looked up to and, just thought was awesome. So she went in from like the first session, the first day, I think she was instantly infatuated with him. So I guess that was like the point of no return instantly. And I don't think she even went back home. She just hung out. She was able to kind of wiggle her way onto his team as an extra, just helping out where she could. And very quickly, she realized how dangerous it could be when she was helping them out as part of the crew for Pippin. I think one of the safety divers ended up dying, and she handled it really well. And I think Pippin was intrigued by just how calm she remained and how she handled it. And they became fast friends, and she fell right into place with the rest of the crew, rest of the members of the team. And before long, the romance really kicked off between her and Pippin. And he was at least 13 years older than her, if not more. But, it didn't stop them. They just, two lovebirds. They really hit it off. So, Pippin, at his age, he had been free diving and all of this for so long, it was starting to impact his health. And so he was pretty much told that he needed to stop doing the dives, only because he was blacking out. It was just causing some health problems. So, he decided to train and spend more time with Audrey and teaching her, kind of letting her pick up where he left off, and, in hopes of her breaking even more records. So in 2000, she was the world record holder for the deepest dive at 130 meters, like I mentioned earlier. And in 2000 or 2002, a competitor, another free diver named Tanya Streeter, actually broke her record. And, at the time, Pippin wasn't diving anymore, and Audrey was still kind of training and, wasn't really at the point where she could go that deep. But, Pippin was pushing her and, or encouraging her to, just train and, and so she was training. But meanwhile, there was a lot of speculation going on about their relationship and how it was just tumultuous and intense and a little bit toxic, and even accusations of, him abusing her, and jealousy and infidelity, and just a laundry list of things that was starting to go on in the relationship that was kind of evident in the way that they were training and cutting corners, and just this intensity that some of the other crew members, I think, were starting to feel the pressure of, okay, are we just really not going to care about the safety protocols? Are we just gonna just try to bypass this and that to try to break this record? And so so it's just, it's sad that she was put in a position where she felt she had to perform regardless of the environment, whether it was storming or, whether they had enough people to be safety divers to make sure that she was safe throughout the dive and all of that. So what ended up happening was, it seemed as though Pippin and Audrey were having, like I said before, marital problems, and some even speculate that maybe she was pregnant, and that the night before she was going to attempt to break this new world record, plenty of people were saying that there was a big fight, and they could see like a bruise under her eye. And the day of the dive that she was going to try to break this new world record set by Tanya Streeter, she just wasn't herself, and people picked up on it right away. She was kind of quiet. And of course, all this is out there. You can find numerous documentaries about it. There's actually a movie on Netflix called No Limit, because some of the free, they call it No Limit because, you know, you're going down on one breath. So the way that it works is the diver, the free diver, will get on this like apparatus. You kind of sit on it, and it will, you take your breath, and then it will pull you down. It will pull you down pretty rapidly, and all along the way you're supposed to have like I don't want to call them spotters, but you're supposed to have safety divers, you know, that are kind of like monitoring you, and they're fully equipped. They're like, they got their air, they have everything that they need to maintain their depth, and you know, they're at so many feet. There should be a safety diver to kind of watch your progress and make sure that you're still okay. So so what happens is you're on this little apparatus thing. Looks like a little, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a bar, and you just kind of like sit on it, and then you hold on to it, and it just pulls you down. And then you're going down, and again, all on one breath. And you go down, I guess, as far as you can go, whatever your goal is. And then once you're down there, you then have to hold on to the handle, because there's a lift balloon that is going to propel you back up in a very fast manner, because again, you're on one breath, and so the faster the better, right? So you're supposed to go down there, you're going to hold on to the handle, you're going to unplug the pin, and I may be there's three things, I may be getting them out of order. You're supposed to hold, you know, hold on to the bar, maybe push a button or something, then unplug the pin, and that button is supposed to activate the air or whatever, and the pin is to release it, and then you hold on, and it jets you back up, right? And the air just kind of propels you up, and all along the way you see your safety divers. They're making sure that you're going up and everything is fine. So on the day of her her dive, where she was going to try to break the record. Now, she had been practicing, and they were really intensely training. Like, she was going out there, and I want to say during her last training session, she had gone down 171 meters. I want to say 171 meters. And so that by far would definitely break the record of 160, that 160 meters that Tanya Streeter had said. So I feel like she was confident that she could do it, but I just feel like when you watch the videos and you see her body language and just how, you know, just how she was kind of, I don't know, you know, just a little bit off. I don't think it was because she wasn't confident that she could do it. I just feel like maybe she was just still, you know, upset about the fight the night before she had with Pippin, or maybe she was just so deep in thought about other relationship type stuff. It wasn't, I honestly don't believe it had anything to do with the dive itself. I don't think she was nervous about it. I don't think that it had anything to do with the dive itself. I feel like she was confident enough. She had been training. So yeah, I don't think it was that at all. So the day of the dive, back to that. So she, you know, wasn't herself, but she was moving forward. And again, if you go out and you watch the videos, they play different clips of the day of the dive. And, you know, she goes out there and she's waiting. So here's where some of the controversy, the speculations come in, okay? Pippin's a little bit, his behavior was a little bit shady that day. Okay, it was a little bit shady. And just from reports from the crew and the team members, and even just watching the videos, he seemed a little, you know, not space cadet-y, but he just seemed like he was all over the place. And it could just be because he was nervous, that, you know, he really wanted this for the team. He wanted it for her. He wanted her to break the record. Could have been a number of things. But between her behavior and his behavior, something wasn't quite right, right? So, you know, there are different protocols that the dive team does in preparation for a big dive like that. They are checking equipment, they're making sure everybody's prepared for where they need to be as far as safety divers, and, you know, making sure all the numbers are good. And most importantly, they are making sure that the lift bag is full. It has its air, it has all the things that it needs to do to properly function. That is a routine. That's a routine that's done every single time, you know, and done again, and checked again. So, you know, because safety first, right? So, but on this day, Pippin wouldn't let anybody go near Audrey's lift bag to check the tanks, to make sure everything was okay, making sure that the air was in there, making sure everything was functioning properly. I mean, damn near like, not cuss them out, but was just like, leave it alone. I've checked it. It's full. Don't mess with it. Don't go near it. And I think two of the guys asked him, you know, I'm going to go and check it. Can I go check it? And he told them both, no, I've checked it. It's fine. Don't go near there. Don't even mess with it. I don't even want you, pretty much, I don't even want you looking at it. Don't even go over there. And so they thought it was weird, but they went on about it because he was, I guess, in a mood, and they were just like, whatever, you know, they had their own things that in checks and balances that they needed to do anyway. So they just kind of like shrugged it off. So that's weirdness number one. Okay. Mystery number one. Mystery number two is why did he do that? Like, why did he do it on purpose? Was he trying to keep people from finding out that the tank wasn't full, or was he just what was the purpose for that? Okay, so that's weirdness number two. And so you know, and then weirdness number three is they were really bypassing all the safety protocols. They didn't have enough safety divers. Typically, like when Tanya Streeter broke the record, she had 16 safety divers in the water with her. Audrey had 2. She had two. Two of the normal safety guys. Pippin had told them, no, we're going to be doing something else. And they had made other plans because this was like a last minute thing. They decided to go to the DR and try to break this record. And, you know, but 2 members of the crew wasn't present. And then another one of the safety divers had passed away in a caving accident or something. So he wasn't there. So they cut corners. Pippin knew that they didn't have all the proper safety measures in place. And most importantly, the safety divers. 2, that's all. I mean, she's breaking a record and you just have 2, which left a big gap. You know, they had one, I guess, go way to the bottom and then one maybe halfway through, but it left a big gap for her to kind of like figure it out on her own if something were to go wrong. You know, a lot of those free divers, they're in danger. They really are in jeopardy of blacking out. So having those safety divers there are really important, but whatever, you didn't have that. So, yeah, it's the day of the dive. She's getting ready. She goes down, and this unfortunately is the tragic part of the story. She goes down and she breaks the record. I mean, she goes down to 171 feet, and in the documentaries, in the movies, and everything that's out there, it's actually filmed. You can see her down there, and you can see her, you know, she's functioning. She seems alert. She's fine, and she's ready to, you know, trigger the equipment to send her back up. And that's when it's realized that the tank is empty. The tank is empty. It's not working. And, you know, her safety divers, the one of the 2 safety divers that was down there with her, you know, tried to put some air in the thing from his own tank. That didn't really work. It wasn't really, it's supposed to like jet you up, because she's still on this one single breath. And so, unfortunately, she at the rate she was going up, swimming up, there's no way that she could, on that one single breath, make it all the way up there. But every attempt was made. And when she finally did surface, the safety diver took her as far as he could take her. But if you're familiar with diving and all of that, they're only able to go up so fast and so far. They have to kind of stay in the water and decompress, and then they can, proceed further and decompress. Like, it's a whole process. So he could only go up, I think, 90 meters. And then he kind of had to wait for somebody to hopefully come and get her, because he couldn't go up any further because he'd risk his own life. So at the top, when they realized that so much time has gone by and she hasn't come up, of course they're concerned. The little floaty thing went up. I don't know the technical term, but it went up, but she wasn't there. Pippin got on his little outfit, his little scuba gear, and dove down to the 90-meter mark to get her, and brought her up, but didn't take her out of the water right away, and tried to give her CPR in the water. It was kind of weird. And then they finally lifted her to the boat. And so this is weird mystery number 4 or 5. I don't know what number I'm on, but number 4 maybe. The doctor they had on staff that day for their team wasn't even a medical doctor. He was a dentist. So of course he's like, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a dentist. So he didn't even know really what to do. It was just it was chaotic. And, bystanders were thinking, man, this is going in slow motion, because when she came out of the water, she had a pulse. I mean, she was like foaming out of, pink stuff was just coming out of her nose and mouth and everything. But she had a pulse. And so I guess if they would have had like the proper doctor on the boat waiting, who knows, this could have turned out to be a different type of story. But yeah, if you ever watch the documentary or even watch the movie again on Netflix, they have it, No Limit, called No Limit, then you'll see it was like complete chaos when they got her on the boat and they finally took her back to shore. It was like everyone had on, I don't know, they were walking around like they had marshmallows for feet, like they just fumbling over stuff. They couldn't get her off there was no stretcher or gurney waiting for her when she got to shore. They had to put her on this like lounge chair and kind of, 7 or 8 guys tried to fumble her to the medical center or whatever. It was just I feel like it definitely could have been avoided, and it's just really a sad story. So of course, after her death in 2002, lots and lots of accusations and controversies were geared towards her husband, Pippin. There are plenty of speculations and just accusations that the equipment wasn't really faulty. It was deliberately done that way. Like Pippin deliberately, didn't fill the air tanks and didn't want anybody near the air tanks to see that they were empty. Or there's another theory that he did all of this to stage like a rescue attempt. Like she was going to come up a little bit and then he was going to dive in and rescue her while everybody was watching, and then it was going to make headlines and blah, 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 blah. Like it was like this elaborate plan. So that's a theory as well. So I don't know if this one's solved. I honestly feel like it's unsolved because, it just makes no sense for something that's so routine, and then for it to be considered it's negligence, but I feel like it's premeditated negligence. Like he did it on purpose. You know, I feel like if it happened in the U.S. or maybe somewhere else, that more of a deeper investigation would have happened, versus just, you know, I think they questioned a couple of members of the crew, but it was then just not dismissed, but then it was just kind of squashed as faulty equipment. And I don't feel like it's shut in case like that. I honestly feel like it's not fully solved. You know, when he's interviewed, he's just saying, oh, you know, it was an accident. Accidents, you know, happen. It's unfortunate. But it wasn't was it an accident, or was it deliberate? So, you know, was it solved? Or I feel like it's unsolved. So that's why I'm talking about it today. What do you think? What is your opinion? And have you heard this story before? And if you have, share some more details that I may have left out. I mean, there's plenty of details that I left out, I know, but I'm talking about the juicy ones. You got some good details that you want to share with everybody. Leave them in the comments. Okay, thank you for listening, and see you soon.